Calvin Robinson, this was a once-in-a-generation vote.
So she said.
And here we are 8 years
generation?
later.
Well,
Well, it's not 8 years, is it?
No.
It's not 8 years.
Well, this is the thing. If she does manage to get away with it, and I hope she doesn't, but if she does, they should put in the legislation that this is it. There are no more. Because I think if she gets at Indyref2, which she will lose, she would ask for Indyref3. It will go on and on until she gets the result that she wants. And perhaps, actually, we should look at a whole UK-wide referendum. Let everyone vote on it. I mean, I'm a big unionist myself. I'd love to see Scotland remain in the UK. But I think there are a lot of English people that are getting fed up with this question being asked.
Well, Dawn, Sturgeon doesn't even want Scots who don't live in Scotland to vote. So if you're a Scot living in England, you're not allowed to vote.
First of all, I'm quite shocked that we're actually wearing matching jackets. That wasn't intentional, by the way. I think it's copying me. But the thing is, I mean, what is she going to do? What else is she going to do? She's got nothing else, has she? You know, she's got stuff she should be sorting out, as we've already mentioned, sort of like, you know, the drugs issue, the NHS, you know, the whole financial situation in Scotland at the moment is a bit of a basket.
And this is costing millions and millions of pounds. She's got a massive team of civil servants working on this,
but they can't,
rather than working on serving the crisis.
The one thing Nicola never does is explain the financial details of how this is going to work. What it's actually.
Well, it's not going to work. It's a £3.5 billion deficit.
And you know, they haven't got the GDP to even join the EU. So, but the one I can't get my head around, so they want their independence to hand their independence over to
the EU. And by the way, Dawn, that's a really significant point that you raise, because...
That's unusual, I know, for me.
I know, very strange. What's going on? Something's going wrong today. Because Sturgeon would have to commit to Scotland adopting the euro to even get a look in at the EU.
Yeah.
And she claims that she can retain the pound. She can't. No. They would have to adopt the euro.
Well, they don't spend enough on defence to join the EU or NATO, do they? Which is part of it. They don't have a GDP that's high enough. So how is it going to work?
I mean, Nigel Nelson, answer that question. How is this going to work? It's a delusional fantasy, isn't it?
No, I mean, it's better for the Scots. As far as the SNP goes, they started in 1934 and they've existed ever since for Scottish independence. It is their prime and most important policy. So the fact she's bringing it back is not a surprise. Calvin's right. She made a promise that it would be a once-in-a-generation vote, but then things completely changed. That 4 in 10 Scots were in favour of Brexit, but 6 in 10 were against. So I think this referendum is attached almost to another EU referendum.
You can't have a once-in-a-generation referendum.
You can have circumstances
get the
change.
result that you don't want and then have another one.
You can if things change.
No, and circumstances always change. That's politics.
Yeah, that's life.
Well, in 2014, there was the EU referendum wasn't on the horizon. Scotland as a country did not want to leave the EU. They voted very much in favour of staying in the EU.
But you always say this, Scotland as a country did not vote. Individuals voted. We don't look at it based on the demographic of where you live. We look at it based on the country.
But that's why we left.
No, we look at it based on the United Kingdom.
Exactly. And that's why we left.
We don't say that, oh, actually, most people in London decided to remain in the EU, therefore London can stay in the EU and the rest of the country.
No, but Scotland...
We are a United Kingdom, and that's a brilliant...
UK.
But Scotland is a separate country, in the same way that Wales is separate and Northern Ireland is separate.
It's a devolved nation.
Well, I mean, it's a separate country.
No, it's the same country. It's a nation.
It's a nation. We are a country. The United Kingdom is a country.
But anyway, all this is smoke and mirrors. The problem with single-issue politics is that they're not addressing education, they're not addressing hospitals, they're not addressing the economy,
because she's a disaster.
Crime, all these things are plummeting. So she talks about the referendum more and more.
Nigel, she's not going to get the approval from the Supreme Court, is she? So then this becomes...
Well, she might.
You think she might?
Well, she might. I mean, the whole thing was that when we had the 2014 referendum,
it's clearly against the law.
What she need? Well, it would be against the law if Boris Johnson turns around and doesn't give her the Section 30, which transfers power from Westminster to Holyrood. That's why she has to go to the Supreme Court to say, look, they've given me this power before. That was in 2014. Why can I not have this power now? The Supreme Court could very well turn around and say, yes, you can.
Well, in which case, then, if this is the way it works, we then go to the European Court of Human Rights and that overrules the Supreme Court, doesn't it?
Very good, very good.
Dawn Newsom, Calvin Robinson, Nigel Nelson, thank you so much.